Hey guys, this is John, your host on Mgtow is Freedom. Welcome back. Doing my best blonde old Tom Cruise from Risky Business. And speaking of risky business, what did Tom Cruise do in that movie? And this isn't a Mgtow at the movies, but it's kind of a taste. In fact, I'm trying to get one of my new videos done and past YouTube. They've decided that they think that Mgtow at the movies is some sort of evil thing. So anyways, we'll go with this, right? Tom Cruise, yeah, he was messing with women. He was so interested in getting laid, and nothing but trouble came from it, right? He failed. And, I started thinking, man, he failed. He was in high school. Wasn't he listening to his teachers? Wasn't he getting all the clues? What's wrong with that guy? And I started thinking about mythology and how it demonstrates the failures of women, the failures of the feminine. And I've already covered sirens, right? I did a video on sirens, and that's those semi-aquatic wenches that lure men to jump off of ships and sailors to crash their boats trying to get to them, right? But I thought, that's not the only clue in mythology. And I'm really not talking about ancient philosophers like Socrates and Aristotle and others who have discussed, and not to mention, how dare I not mention the great Mgtocrates. Right? They talk about the problems with women. But I think that the stories, the idea, the concept surrounding the failures of the feminine women, right? It's covered in mythology in many, many ways, in many different stories. So as I've said, I've talked about sirens. But one of the ultimate stories is Pandora, right? It's Pandora's box, right? And a lot of concepts and ideas about problems and how you can't get rid of them, right, are tied with Pandora's box. When that box, Pandora, is opened, the terror within inside cannot be contained. It cannot be stopped, right? And some colloquialisms that have sprang from that is the camel's nose in the tent, and genie in the bottle, right? And my favorite, of course, which is obliquely, tangentially, and long distance related, which is you can't get the shit stuffed back in the horse once it craps. But anyways, back to mythology. Pandora and her box. What's it full of? It's full of trials and tribulations for men, right? Disease and terror and all the worst parts of the Bible. Pandora's box. That's mythology trying to say, look out for the problem that women cause. Right? When we look back again, let's move on to the next one. More mythology fails for women. Right? How about Aphrodite? Right? The most beautiful, right, of goddesses. Right? She's the goddess of love. She's the goddess of beauty, right, and romance. But her scorn destroys men. And the idea of Aphrodite is shared across many, many cultures over thousands of years, going all the way back to the Sumerians, which is the oldest culture on earth that we have a written record for that has been translated. The character that becomes Aphrodite, right, in modern Greek culture, who became Venus in the Roman culture. She destroyed men. She attacked men. She killed men. Men who were her lovers that did not like the way they were being treated by her. Aphrodite is the consummate, I'm too beautiful for you feminist. And because of that, she represents another mythology fail for women. Mythology does not present women in a lot of great ways. Of course, there has to be a woman that people chase after. Of course, there has to be someone's mother or sister or daughter that has to be defended. The white knight-itude that shows up in mythology is great, right? The story of Helen of Troy and how Paris went to save her and caused a war, right? It's believable because of this belief that the beautiful woman is worth dying for. And Aphrodite was the woman who was who was run from by men, including in Samaria, right? I'm trying to remember the guy's name real quick. It'll come to me in a minute. That story was passed down through Sumeria, this idea of Aphrodite who wants a man killed. Inanna was her name, and I think I did a Mgtow video on her. Right, yes, I did. I did that one as well, demonstrating it's the oldest story, but it's the same caricature of feminism. Right? It's the same exact caricature. It's the idea of the woman who is incredibly beautiful, incredibly seductive, but men run from her, then she wants them destroyed. Aphrodite, look out. All right, continuing on, right? Who else in mythology, right, dealt with the dreaded woman, the evil woman, the bad woman, right? Perseus, another famous mythological character that comes to us from ancient Greece and Rome, right? He was the demigod, the half man, half god that was being given favor by other gods, but being screwed with by yet others. He had to, in order to accomplish his mission, dispatch Medusa. And what was Medusa? Who was Medusa, right? We all know her popularly as the woman who has a head full of snakes, right? And she is featured in a lot of great science fiction movies, old movies, and even new ones, right? Medusa, she'll look at you, this woman, and turn you to stone, kill you with a mere look. Right? Now, what is amazing about this is we have all, as men, dealt with Medusa, the woman who will look at you and her mere glance, that is, you have come into her world by seeing you with her eyes. She sees that you, right, are bad for her, and she's going to destroy you with just a look. That is just a thought. That's all she needs, is a thought of you and eye contact, and you are doomed. Doomed, right? So how does Perseus defeat her, right? He shows her a reflection of herself, and she destroys herself, right? Isn't that just grand, right? You know, so it's dripping with symbolism, right? Dripping with symbolism, because when women see other women being horrifyingly bad, they want them out of the picture, right? Women are competitive with each other. They want to be the powerful one. They want to be the Aphrodite. They want to be, right, the Medusa, right? They want to have that kind of power. So they look at each other and take each other out, right? They're cannibalistic in a way, right? They're like the Ouroboros that eats itself. This idea of feminism embodied through powerful women like Aphrodite and Pandora and Medusa. Absolutely horrifying. But it's also instructive to us that the ancients were aware of the same problems we have today. Did they have the internet and satellites? You know, did they have electricity and running water and hot water and flush toilets and washing machines? No, but they had the same exact problems. Those problems existed in spite in spite of the fact they didn't have our high technology. You don't have to have high technology to have problems with women and feminist ideology and mentality, right? It's just not needed. You know, another character from mythology is one from the Old Testament, Jezebel, and the Jezebel spirit, right? What that woman represented was a woman who screwed her way into power and then tried using that power to get her way sexually with men. And one of the characters, and I can't remember which it was from the Old Testament, it was Jacob or Israel or one of those guys, you know, she tried talking him into bed with her, and when he rejected her because she is a whore, a harlot, right? She threatened him. She called the guards and said he tried raping her. and he ran so fast and hard. If I remember the story right, he ran right out of his clothes. And I don't know if that story's real or not, but to me it's mythological, and it's teaching a lesson about, once again, a powerful, powerful woman.